Welcome back everyone, once again to another SnowRunner truck review. In this video, we're going to check out a powerful yet hamstrung vehicle that was released alongside of the Jack of All Trades DLC. So, before we start, I ask that you please help support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to the channel as well. Alright, let's jump in here and check it out. As a symbol of American trucking, the long-hooded Kenworth W990, as the company would say, has power, presence, and personal style. Outfitted with a Paycar engine and transmission, the Kenworth can call upon 510 horsepower with 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. With the addition of the Paycar DX40 lightweight axles, it's said to produce much better fuel efficiency while being 500 pounds lighter. In the game of SnowRunner, the W990 is indeed lightweight and packs a punch with tons of power, with some very large drawbacks that might keep folks from getting their hands on one. So before we get carried away here, let's get started on the bad news first. Busting open the downsides list here at the number 1 spot, no all-wheel drive. A DLC vehicle in Season 11 or upcoming Season 12, not having all-wheel drive essentially is the biggest and most hurtful downside pertaining to the Kenworth. Because of this, our next 2 items on this list are a product of our current red flag here at number 1. Downside number 2, bad performance. Without diving too deep here, truly the only reason I believe its performance isn't good is based on not having all-wheel drive. Later we'll look at the pros and you'll see that it might be the only thing missing on the Kenworth that could make it really good. Downside number 3, terrain limitations and wheel spin. Once again, not having all-wheel drive places limitations on trucks in the game of SnowRunner, which is why a lot of folks aren't too excited about lining up to purchase the Kenworth. Not to mention the combination of being lightweight with a strong engine, this will increase the chances to spin a tad too much if not monitored. Downside number 4, steering and damage tolerances. When you don't have all-wheel drive and you only have rear-wheel drive, your turns might not be as sharp simply from the force driving you forward and not having a force that is actually digging into the surface, pulling you through the turn. So this is something you just might take note of. Then we have to move on to its damage tolerances of its engine and on the vehicle itself, which I believe are not up to par with its current class it's placed in. And finally, coming in at downside number 5, the dead axle. I believe the dead axle does sit pretty high in its lifted position, but it doesn't flex much when deployed. This can interfere with your only 2 drive axles maintaining ground contact, so be aware of this. And as you can see here guys, the Kenworth's issues really just derive from our number 1 downside. But enough of the bad news, let's talk about its good qualities, shall we? Coming in at upside number 1, power. Keeping this upside short but rather sweet, at 228,000 torque, the Kenworth isn't going to have any issues pulling or holding high gear. Upside number 2, average balance. Looking at its balance properties and testing as well, I found that the Kenworth's lateral stability to be better than some, even considering the 50-50 split of weight distribution from cab to chassis. Even using heavy add-ons, it actually surprised me how well it hung on to its balance, but I do believe it's aided by wide tires. Upside number 3, tires and differential locking. There's not many American trucks that get a 52-inch tire option. The Kenworth has custom tires and also heavy double options which add balance and effective grip when hauling with weight on wheels. Adding differential locking into this equation definitely helps in my opinion and quite often is needed, which is nice to have. Lastly, it's rather interesting to see an American truck with good ground clearance like this as well. Upside number 4, add-ons. While I don't think the Kenworth is super versatile because of its main weakness at downside number 1, it does have many add-ons that drivers can attempt to make them work, which can be fun if you do like a little challenge. And finally, at upside number 5, range. The most shocking upside to me personally for the Kenworth is its gas tank size, roof rack, and overall range. This is not something you see on American trucks in SnowRunner, which for me has been a pleasant surprise. So in conclusion, at this point in the game where the last DLC vehicles have been very strong, the Kenworth falls short of expectations for most folks. But in truth, I believe it's only one step away to becoming maybe an A tier or perhaps even a lower S tier with an addition of all-wheel drive. The question is, why did it not receive one at this current state or phase of the game? And will it ever receive one? If it does not get an all-wheel drive upgrade, I like to see a tire upgrade making it similar to the P512, but honestly, it's in a much better place than the Wolfpack DLC when they were initially released with no all-wheel drive. However, as of right now, the Kenworth can be effective for players that are seasoned and know where and how to utilize its strengths. So I encourage y'all to give this one a try and let me know what you think. I really hope this review gave you a fresh, new perspective of the Kenworth W990. Please smash that like button. Definitely share this video with someone who is currently struggling with the game, and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless and stay upright.